everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Deerassic at Home. Today I'm down in Deerassic Park's bottom. Might look familiar to some of you guys. There's the creek there. There's the creaking shed back there. Here's the main trail that I'm on right now. But behind me, you can kind of see some new stuff. If you guys have been here before, you recognize that that's all new. But we are in the process of creating a low ropes course, which is kind of like an obstacle course, if you will. And still kind of in the stages of getting everything set up. But I figured I'd show you guys today, get you guys excited about this new activity that we're going to offer. And let's go ahead and get to it. So like I said, right now I'm standing on the main trail here. Directly behind me is the creaking shed where you cross the main trail across the creek there. But here is our low ropes course, and we're gonna have a lot of other low ropes type of activities, but this is the main one that I wanted to get up initially, and it's more of an obstacle course. And we're gonna have some signage that goes with a lot of this stuff. There's gonna be a lot of new signage when you guys are back here at the park to kind of help with these and to help with some of the new trails, which I'll explain here a little bit later. But there'll be a sign here that explains low ropes kind of rules and regulations, and then we'll have kind of signs that'll label each obstacle as you kind of go through the course. But the way this is pretty much going to work is, you know, we can use this a lot for field trips. We can use this a lot for summer camps, for team building stuff. You know, if you want to bring your football team or volleyball team or whatever out here, you know, we're looking at, you know, roughly maybe second grade and up for something like this is kind of what I'm going to try and go with initially. And I'll just kind of, you know, monitor that. And if I've got to, you know, raise that age limit up a little bit, or I can even possibly drop it a little bit, I will. But, you know, that's a good starting point just for a lot of this type stuff. But, you know, even if you got a high school group that's, you know, baseball team wants to come out and do some team building stuff, or softball or whatever, this is a lot of what we're looking at. So just to kind of take you through this first obstacle course, I'll walk you guys through it. So this first obstacle is going to be our first Gator Crossing. So a lot of this stuff you got to try and stay off of the ground. You can pretend it's lava. I usually pretend something else, like this is Gator Crossing. So we got, you know, body of water here, and you got to use your imagination, but you got gators in the water. And it's just these stumps that I cut and secured together, and all I'm doing is just stepping across these. This is one of the more easier obstacles. Now the plan is for around a lot of these trees is we are going to build little platforms that you'll go from one obstacle to the next one. So that part of it isn't complete yet, but right here would be your first kind of platform. I'd step from this onto a platform that would be somewhere secured along the tree right there. Now the next one we got a cable ran up there from tree to tree. You got about a 9 to 11 foot gap here, and this is our Tarzan Swing. So you're gonna have a platform right here, and we've got this rope here, which it can be brought back, and we've got this little hook here that can kind of secure it there. But this will be a lot of staff will have to help with this as far as bringing the rope back, that sort of thing. But you'll stand on this platform here, and your job is to swing and land on a platform which is going to be hooked onto this tree. Okay, so that would be your objective there. And a lot of this stuff, because it is low ropes, it's only going to be maybe a foot and a half off the ground. A lot of low stuff. So if you do miss the platform or fall, whatever, you're not falling very far. So here's the next obstacle, and I think I coined this one kind of the Deerassic Ninja Warrior. It still needs some excess cut off there, but basically it's a slack line. Okay, so I got a slack line here that you've got to walk across. And then we've got 2 gymnastics rings hanging there, and I've still got the slack on there in case I need to raise or lower them. Kind of still got to feel that out, and I can always adjust them or even put an extra one in there. Like I said, I don't have any kids kind of at the lower age limit, you know, that 2nd grade cutoff to be able to test this for me. So I got to see where exactly I want those adjusted. But you'd step from that platform onto this. Let's see if I can get up here and do this kind of one-handed. This might be kind of rough one-handed. But then I'm going to reach out here and grab this gymnastics ring and try and not bust my butt. And I'm all over the place just doing this one-handed. Now, I've got a little bit longer arms than most on this, so it's going to be a little bit easier for me, but not one-handed. Ooh. So I've got that. I'm doing pretty good here. Now all I got to do is reach for the tree. Yeah. And I made it. Okay. And then there would be a platform here. And then you would step to this little gap stump I put here. But this next one, just a simple log you got to walk across, calling this ants on a log. Pretty easy one. So I tried to mix it up and have some easier ones, have some tougher ones. But just to kind of get that mix in there and let everybody, you know, at least accomplish some of them. And then there'll be another platform here on this tree. And then you would go straight to another Gator Crossing. So I had plenty of extra stumps to do another one of these. We got plenty of trees through here, so might as well do another Gator Crossing. Again, another fairly easy one. Stumps go up pretty high. They're about 1.5 feet apart from one another. It's a little bit challenging. Just got to be careful through those. Then we'd have another platform on this tree. And in this gap is not completed, but the plan for this gap here from this tree to that tree, right here kind of through this area, is going to be what's called Inline Swings. And what it is going to be a rope up top, and it is going to be 2 ropes coming down for each swing. And all the swing is going to be is about a 2-foot piece of like landscaping board. So kind of like a 4x4, but it's got rounded edges. And there'll be 3 of those is I think what's probably going to fill up this gap. But then they'll be connected rope to rope together at the bottom as well. But when you step on them, they're going to swing all back and forth and twist and turn and be a little bit more on the difficult side. This one will be. So that is the plan there. I just have to, the only thing I got to get left for that to get that one completed is the landscaping boards. And that is the plan for right there. So you do the inline swings there, come over to a platform here, and then step onto our zigzag poles. And I don't have a name for this one. If you guys got a good suggestion, I'll take some. Right now I'm just basically calling them a zigzag log or pole or something to that effect. But these were just old power telephone poles, whatever, that I cut up and used for kind of a zigzag balance beam. And I will say, from trying this the other day, when these get wet, they got a little moss and growth on them, so they are super slick. I found that out the hard way. Right now they're pretty easy to get across. And this is looking to be probably our final space for an obstacle. Will be from this tree. Again, there'll be another platform on the side of that tree going to this tree. And this will be, like I said, probably our final obstacle. We've got some more trees. We've got some more trees through there that we can kind of get creative with in the future. But you can see I've already put an eye hook in there to start this one. But this is going to be called Icicles. And what Icicles is going to be is a cable about 1.5 feet off the ground on the bottom, and a cable about 9 foot from the ground on the top. And then there'll be 3, I believe, is what we're probably going to have in this gap. Pieces of about 1.5 inch PVC pipe that'll run from one cable to the other. And there'll be a piece of rope or cable ran inside of those PVC pipes. And you're standing on this bottom cable, and the only thing you can do is hold on to the PVC pipes to make it from one to the other to get to the very end of the obstacle course. So that is the end of the obstacle course and what it'll kind of look like here in just another week or so. I said, it's looked like we're getting some better weather coming up here in the next week, and I'll be able to complete those. And we'll go ahead and take a walk down through here, and I'll show you kind of some different ideas, explain those a little bit, what I'm looking to do for some other low ropes type activities. But right in here, since I've got a lot of smaller trees, I think this is a good starting point. And if I got to use maybe some metal fence post or whatever I got to use, there is a low ropes activity called the blind maze. And what that blind maze is it's just a series of 2 or 3 strands of like bungee cord, and you put eyelets in the trees and posts or whatever, and you kind of run that cord from tree to tree or whatever, and you basically make a maze out of that, and you have a start and you have a finish, and it can kind of even bleed out into this open area or into this open area. And what you do is you have a group of kids, say 5 or 6 of them, and you blindfold all of them, and you connect them all with, you know, some sort of rope or harness or whatever, to where they're basically a, you know, big giant caterpillar. And their other classmates, campers, whatever the case may be, their job is to help them get through the maze blindfolded. So they're going to be shouting and telling what direction to go and all that stuff, and they're going to have to touch and feel with the bungee cords and trees and posts and stuff and find their way through the blind maze. So it's a very, very good team building activity. I've got plenty of bungee cord to do it. This was one that I was going to take on next once I completed the obstacle course, but that is the plan there. Then you can see our nice little campfire area that I made out of all these stumps, poles, which might be a nice place for when we start doing maybe some overnight camps, like at Bigfoot lock-in, things like that. We can come down here, have a campfire rather than just on the back patio. It's a really good open spot here for the smoke fire to go through, but pretty cool little area down here in the woods. And then somewhere down through here, because this is a pretty big bottom, the trail keeps going, we've got more area to do stuff. Somewhere in here, whether it's on this side, whether it's on this side of the trail, we're going to do another low ropes activity for sure that's called the Spiderweb. And say, for instance, we use that tree, and that tree. And basically, you have some more bungee cord, and you have it attached to those 3 trees. But in the middle, it's one big spiderweb looking maze of bungee cord about foot and a half off the ground. And you can change the rules constantly, but the object is to get across, you know, from one side or, you know, other side, depending on what the staff member, counselor, whoever dictates what you're doing for that particular activity. But you have to get across there without touching any of the bungee cords. Bungee cords will be so tightly knit together that if you just barely brush up against it, just like a regular spider web, hence the name, it's going to vibrate. Spider's going to come get you, and you have to start all over. So this is another good team building one. You can, you know, split up into teams and see which team can do it the fastest. Same with the blind maze. So another really, really cool one. And I've got several others in mind that we've got this perfect space down here. A lot of sparse trees to set this type of stuff up down here, and it'll be really, really cool to see how that progresses over the years. But that's the plan, and since I've got a little bit of extra time right now, that is the goal in the next month or so, is to get a lot of this type stuff knocked out. So again, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this got you guys a little bit more excited about next time you're out here to experience the low ropes. Again, I told you I was going to talk about the trails at the beginning of the video, and we have some new nature hiking trails here at Deerassic. Well, they're not new. They're just, they're from years past, and we've cleaned them up and made them really, really nice, and very simple activity, but just going exploring. And we got a couple different caves here that you guys can check out. I won't take you any tours through the trails. I'll leave that for you guys to explore next time you are here at Deerassic. But again, that's pretty much all the time I have today, and just one more kind of overview look at least a good start of our low ropes and obstacle course type stuff. And hopefully next time you guys will be here and it'll be completed and you'll get to enjoy it and have a lot of fun. So thanks again, guys, and see you next time.